Hello and welcome to FPL Waffle, a review of the last game week, most importantly, looking ahead to future weeks with a wildcard draft, which I'm going to hit you with very shortly. Last game week was a tale of ups and downs, I'd argue. Sanchez in goal continues to be a terrible -4 for Flecken, who hasn't done much better, but still done better than Sanchez. Robinson's 7-pointer was beautiful because it was jammy, but there was pain involved with this, which we'll see in a second. Um, Palmer with 10. Matoma was beautiful with 10. He basically it was Matoma's last game in the team, and it was nice to get a return from him. I brought in Bruno Fernandes for Son, which didn't really go very well because Son scored, and I captained Fernandes, but I was grateful for the consolation bonus points in a game where he didn't score or assist. And then Jackson finally got a return for me with an assist. He should have scored in the game, but at least he got something. And Isak smashed it. As I just watched Newcastle get absolutely thumped by Bournemouth, and he failed to continue his goal scoring run, unfortunately. This was the pain. Iwobi on the bench, two crossed goals. But yeah, it was very painful because it was a fixture I wanted to start him in, but basically I wanted to start everyone. So I had to bench someone, and I had Robinson. I thought new manager bounce with West Ham, which did happen, but Iwobi still scored twice. So I'm hoping this week, in Iwobi's final game in the team, he can get something for me at Leicester to sort of give me a farewell after the bench pain. As the rest of the team, I'm really happy that this game week, Aina and Wood I've brought in for Pedro pre wildcard. There's just good fixtures across the board. I ended up captaining Salah. I was on Palmer, but with the injury doubt, I thought there is a chance Palmer doesn't start and comes off the bench if they need him. I can imagine it probably is 0 minutes or 90, but I didn't want to take the risk, so I iced Isak and I captained Salah. So hopefully Salah gets back to goal scoring ways, and then Matoma's on the bench if I need him. As for a sort of wild card draft, or maybe we'll firstly look at some fixtures, thinking of you guys as well in terms of players that you could target, etc. Villa have a good run of three here, so we're going to have a Villa player on our team. Arsenal have a decent run overall, so Gabriel is going to stay in the team. Brighton's run isn't bad, to be fair, but I don't think I'll be having any Brighton. Palace's run continues to be good, but I don't think I'll be on Palace. The Everton double, we will talk about which Everton player I might be bringing in. But Everton aren't looking great, so I'm not exactly going to be jumping on a trio. Liverpool with the double coming up and home to Ipswich. I'm going to have triple Liverpool, so I'll tell you which three those are going to be. Isak's going to have to stay in the team. Hall and Gordon are certainly players that are pushing their way into people's teams at the moment, or have already pushed their way themselves well into teams. They're players that have been hurting my rank a lot lately, but I still don't know if I want to triple up for Newcastle. And there's other players I probably want more, so I'll talk to you about that in a sec. And then Spurs home to Leicester is a lovely fixture. Away to Brentford, there's goals there. Home to United, there's goals there. Then they've got Ipswich. I do like Spurs' run as an attacking team. So into the sort of the bit that probably a lot of you have tuned in for, the wildcard draft. So Valdemarsen's going to stay as a 3.9. He looked very good when he came off the bench against Brighton, and I have no doubts if Flecken was out, he's going to be a brilliant keeper for them in his absence. So he's going to stay as the 3.9 on the bench. The one coming in is most likely going to be Jordan Pickford for that double game week. And I like the only honestly, I think Pickford's the only player I would consider for the double game week personally because they're hard fixtures, like in terms of look at where's the double? Here we go. Okay, they're home to Leicester, but so they're not hard fixtures entirely. But I feel like Leicester could well score, right? But that's partly why I've got a defender in there in Pickford because they could well be a clean sheet at Goodison there. They might nick a goal, but they've not been looking attacking at all. Then they've got Liverpool, obviously. The entry point this week away for Brighton is another tough fixture. There's a few tough fixtures knocking around. Like Pickford's the only one I like, partly because if they don't keep a clean sheet, he's still probably going to make saves, so we get save points. But I still have a player for the double. If they happen to have a worldy couple of games, he could, he might end up getting a couple of clean sheets and save bonuses and stuff. So anyway, I'm fancying the idea of Pickford. I'm very tempted by Sells because Forest have been smashing it all season and basically doing a double up Forest defence. But for now, I think because doubles are fun to attack. I think we're on Pickford. And Everton at Goodison are generally quite good. It's a shame Dyche's been sacked from that point of view, but hopefully they'll continue to be a solid team, particularly at home. So Murillo is the one I'm going to pop in for Forest at the back to have some Forest coverage, partly because he's the cheapest, and it's the only way the team that I'm really wanting works. Gabriel, as I said already, is going to have to stay. Now for Liverpool's double, there's only a few nailed assets that I'm interested in. Virgil van Dijk is one. I want Trent. I like Trent. But for the double, there's always a chance Bradley comes in, and it's going to be annoying when he gets benched. And Virgil does have set piece threat, so we're going to go for Verge, and also money again is helpful for me. I'm going to pop in Greaves as a bench player, and as it stands, assuming this chap isn't out for too long, Hill for Bournemouth is a 3.9, and he was starting for them before a little injury. I don't know if there's any news about it here. Hamstring injury, 25%. So I don't know. He didn't look in too much pain against Chelsea when he came off, so I'm going to have him as another bench player. A lot of you are going to hate the lack of bench depth in this team, but benching headache's been annoying me so much lately. I'm kind of just thinking I want to go all out and not have to worry about a bench each week. And if I have to make a transfer, I have to make a transfer. So and Burmo's going to come in because that's another one I didn't mention in terms of fixtures. Brentford have just got two difficult ones out of the way, and they've then got a pretty decent fixture run. So Burmo is going to have to be in. He's their talisman. He's been clutching up all season with points. He is in. A player that I like a lot. Again, a lot of you might find this questionable. Basically, I really like Heung-min Son, and I enjoy it when he scores, and I want to enjoy it when he scores and get his points. So I'm going to have Son, and home to Leicester is a wonderful entry point in a game that you'd like to think has goals. Well, I remember who my other midfielder is. I'll sort out the forwards. So Chris Wood reluctantly is going to go, but it might only be temporary. But we've got to attack that double on that home to Ipswich fixture with another Liverpool player for third Liverpool. So you've got Salah obviously in the midfield, and then Gakpo's up front. He's looking pretty nailed for them actually, as far as nailedness goes in the Liverpool attack. And then again, in order to fund the state of this team, we're going to have to bring in a 4.4 Stewart just to sit third bench every week, which means how much money is in the bank? I think I have exact funds if I'm correct. 5.6. That's right. For 5.6, we you might even be 5.5. Morgan Rogers has just been ticking over all season. And literally, yeah, it's been immense in terms of value for points. And with that little fixed run for Villa, Rogers will be my next player. So basically, every week we'll be playing Murillo, Virgil, Gabriel, Pickford, Son, Palmer, Rogers, Salah, and Burmo, Gakpo, Isak. And as the weeks go on, as we get close to blanks and doubles and things, I can, perhaps save some transfers. I can, increase the bench strength a little bit with time as it comes to things like bench boost and stuff. But for a period of weeks, I'm almost hoping to just play this team for like 4 weeks on the bounce, save up a load of free transfers, hoping there's no injuries. I mean, a Greaves they've been all right at home. That's actually a terrible fixture run, but it's something awful at home. They've got a home Southampton there, which might be tempting to play them in, particularly if needed. So, and I think Bournemouth's fixtures actually are pretty good, assuming Hill's not out for too long. So, if I need these players off the bench, they might do something for me just to keep me ticking over. So that's basically the wild card team. I think if you're watching this and thinking, James, I don't like the depth in this, you very easily can downgrade a Son, who's kind of a player that I've got because I like him and I think he's going to get points still. And you could just downgrade him to someone else, whether it be a Bruno or an Ahmad or a sorry, I've meant two United players there. I wouldn't say they're my first choice to run to, but someone that still looks like they're going to get points this season. And then you could just increase your bench quite happily. You could you could increase your bench strength massively actually, if you wanted to. But this is what I'm leaning towards. Bit of food for thought for you if you're watching and you're thinking, oh, maybe an aggressive team like this isn't the worst idea in the world for a period of games. Um, so yeah, I think I'll leave it there before the video is too long. But I hope you've found the wildcard draft at least interesting slash thought provoking. But for now, yeah, I hope you have a good rest of your game weeks, and I'll catch you all on